Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Horde of Warcraft with Redneck Champ as your host here. We are going through Fang Keep. This is going to be a 45-minute video shrunk down into 15 minutes, so hopefully you'll be able to see what's going on. This is my first time of tanking a little bit of a heavier leveling dungeon, I guess you could say. I don't consider Ragefire Chasm or Dead Mines or any of those hard at all. So this is like one of the first ones. Fang Keep has kind of been redone with the Cataclysm and things, so it was a little bit different from what I was used to when I was playing my Warlock, playing throughout Burning Crusades and the Wrath, etc. But it's been a very, very fun thing to do with tanking. I figured out really quickly that as a Paladin, you don't run out of mana a whole lot as long as you're not using things like Consecrate. Right after this dungeon, I actually hit 24, and I was able to get the talent for Consecrate. And oh man, the 200 mana cost for it right now is ridiculous. I can't wait to get that knocked down some with some talents. But right now it's ridiculous. Like, I only use it when I'm having to do like a massive, huge AoE pool. That's the only way I'll use it, because until I get Seal the Insight, I'm not going to be able to get that much mana back from it yet with each swing. So luckily the base amount, like the Judgment of the Wise, is not enough to keep replenishing me, to keep me up there for using it a lot. But as long as I just use Avenger Shield, Crusader Strike, Judgment, and Hand of Reckoning when it procs, I'll be good to go. The occasional Hand of Justice or Hammer of Justice when a mob tries to run off. It's kind of the gist of things. I done some PvP the other day as well in Wrathy Basin right after doing this dungeon, and I done really, really well to be level 23 and going in there and trying to attack and keep flags, etc. I done really well. Especially compared to how I done on Warsong Gulch. Warsong Gulch is more of a fast-paced game, in my opinion. More of a fast-paced, maybe not fast-paced, but more of a spread out. You don't have a lot of people together helping out. Everybody tries to get a flag, or everybody's standing in the middle. Or there's no good connection between all the people there. And with the Wrathy Basin, you know, it's more of you got to capture the flags and you got to keep them. You got to guard them. You got to attack them. So it was a lot more interesting. Some things I learned about this instance while doing it, though, as tanking, was that it's not that hard to as a Paladin, keep a whole bunch of AoE, as long as you have a bunch of people there who are not as likely to draw it off. Mages and rogues are two people that always draws off threat from me if they're capable of using their class as well. If they actually have the ability to know, you know, well, this cooldown's up, use it. This cooldown's up, use it. You know, so that's when it gets a little bit tough. Is with them. This water elemental here, this mage, he's beginning to get on my nerves pretty bad, and this hunter is too, because the water elemental, the water mage, ice mage, whatever you want to call him, when he gets his water elemental out, is pulling stuff that does not need to be pulled. And right here's a perfect example of them pulling things that should not be pulled. I'm not getting healed. The priest end up, if I ain't mistaken on this one, dying, and all because of the fact that the hunter's sitting there pulling things that should not be pulling in the water elemental list. Number one rule when doing a dungeon or a raid, guys, do not pull stuff that the tank does not want pulled. I felt very, very confident in my abilities when it come down to pulling large groups in here. The priest was able to heal me and keep me going, but the hunter and the mage on occasions flat out didn't do it. I don't know how many times I've run 2 or 3 instances this day. I was going to record them all, and wish I'd recorded Stockade. That was a really good one because we had 4 dings. Everybody but me dinged all at the same exact time. It was a beautiful run. I wish I could have recorded them all, but unfortunately I did not. I actually didn't think about it. I was just trying to get level 24, and once I got 24, I done had my talent, and I said I want to try out Stockades an instant, see how the AoE does. which is where I found out that the mana kind of goes down quickly if you ain't careful. But I don't know how many times I've been getting in these groups where these hunters don't know how to control their pets. It was either this group here that I'm running with, or it was a completely different group. Where when I was going through there, his pet was, I think it's a different group, but his pet was going and was attacking things that it shouldn't have been attacking. I was where it was. I was in Black Fathom Depths, or Deeps, or however, whatever it's called. I've never done it but like once in my Warlock, so this is the second time I ever done it with my tank, with my Paladin here. But was in there, and he had his pet on aggressive, I believe, because his pet was a raptor and it's attacking everything. Like, I mean, he was pulling stuff that was literally a long way, like out of line of sight. It was still going and attacking that stuff. So I finally asked him, I was like, man, don't you know how to control your pet? No. It's like, dude, you have to control your pet, man. That's like, that's part of the role of being a hunter. I don't know how to do that, though. I was like, there's control 1, control 2, all the way up through like 5 or 6 or 7. Use those. And I was like, what's your pet on? He's like, I don't know. I was like, well, listen, scroll over the stupid little buttons, see if there's a passive, defensive, or aggressive. If it's on defensive, it'll only attack things that are attacking you, which is a good choice to have it on. But right now, I would rather you have it on passive so that I don't have to worry about you pulling things that you don't need to be pulling. His pet was doing like 90% of the damage anyways. So apparently he was, what is that, Beastmaster. So it was really aggravating though. Really, really aggravating. Had this rogue who would just go and start attacking stuff. Like, he was leveled up really, really high. You could tell he was like one of those twinks. And he wasn't leveled up high, but he had the high items for our level that was at, and he was twinked out, and he had all the heirloom plus whatever else he had got from all his instances and things, and it just peed me off so much because he would go and pull a mob. Like, he'd go and sap one mob and then I start attacking the other one, and all it was doing was causing it hard on me to have to go get aggro off of him, because let's face it, he was doing good DPS. And that was being ridiculous on me to try to keep the threat off of him. So, I mean, this happens every day while leveling. That's the problem with leveling and trying to do instances, is you always have these little groups that tries to test you, and they keep you on top of your toes. And I guess that's what they was doing. I guess all that was really allowing me to see how good I am with my abilities so far, how good I am at comprehending. I had a friend here at Logged On who was talking to me, trying to see what was going on. He was wanting to hop into this group with us, but unfortunately we already had a full group and everybody was doing good. The priest was doing a pretty good job at healing me, so this is my friend, it's my real life friend who was wanting to get in. He's a druid, so he's really good at AoE healing. But basically, there's also, that got tickled, there's also this hunter here in this group. I do remember this. It might have been what that message was about. He's trying to message me, telling me that, hey man, I got a tank as my main. You need a lot of strength and stamina. I tell you what I'll do. I'll send you a whole bunch of gear. I'm a blacksmith on my tank. I'll send you a whole bunch of gear. I was like, man, that's nice of you, but we're on different servers. We can't transfer or trade anything that's not coming from this instance. He's like, oh, I got my ways of how to do things. And I'm like, no, you don't, because it still doesn't matter, it's still a cross server. You can't transfer stuff across servers like that. So, unless there's something changed within these last year, or maybe been playing, and within these last probably 4 months of me been listening and really following WoW and seeing how things are doing, then you still can't. So, that guy was just trying to fill me full of bull because I was saying how bad of a hunter that he was. I mean, this guy was horrible. Even with these cats, I'm pretty sure I was the lowest. I can't really see the video because in Vegas you can't really scroll up big and see good quality, but I'm doing the most DPS. I'm doing the most damage. And I know Paladins are really good at doing that. Retribution Paladins are top of the charts, but I'm a prot pally. That's hard to believe. I'm not even using Consecrate, and I am on top of the damage. That was pretty funny, I thought. I guess it just proved how well I understood how to control my character. Now here, I didn't control him well. I had hand of protection on 4, on the number 4 as key binded, and the hand of reckoning is 3. And now when I'm doing this, I'm not paying attention where my fingers are. I'm just normally used to it. But on occasions, I end up hitting hand of protection. So there I am, standing there, not doing nothing. And I was trying to find it a second ago, but to click on the buff and remove it from myself so I can get back to being a hit again. So after this instance, needless to say, I took Xperl and I shrunk it down. All the party bar over there on the left side, I shrunk it down very, very small because I'm a tank. I don't really care what everybody else is doing, their lives and mana. If they're not alive, it's not my fault as long as they ain't pulling aggro. It's the healer's fault. So that's the reason why I got grid there, which pops up and tells me when somebody else has got aggro, which is why I got Omen there to tell me when somebody else has got aggro or I don't have it. I'm going to probably get power auras and put on here so that when somebody else gets aggro, I'll know it. That's basically about it. Just for a little review here on some of the add-ons, I've updated a lot of things since the last video I made. Still have Titan panel up the top, you can see up there. I'm using Pitbull as my action bars so that I can get my buttons in a nice small place. I believe it's sun art or something like that. That is the whole entire blocked off area at the lower edge of the screen. I'm using let's see, what is it I'm using for chat? I think it's gChat and gLib. You gotta have both of those to have it working. That just kind of gives you more of a. It's not as memory intensive as Pratt or the other one. I used to use Pratt and I still love it, absolutely love it. But now I got Windows or WoW Instant Messenger, like Windows Instant Messenger, WIM. So when I do whispers and things, it pops up and I can hide them, and it doesn't really ever go into the chat frame. I like it a lot better. I have Skada instead of Recount. Skada is less memory intensive as well, which means your FPS can stay up and running and everything's good on that. Your latency, all that stuff stays good. I'm using Omen because that's the best thing they are out there. I'm using Xperl for the nameplates, which you can see there. I have in the center of the bottom of the screen, which is my nameplate, and the enemy's nameplate right next to that, so I can always see both of them right together. I had the party up to the side. I'm using Satrina's buff frames so that on the left upper hand of your screen you'll see my actual buffs. Anytime I get debuffs, it'll be in the upper right hand corner of my screen. I'm using Move Anything, which is what I was doing there, moving my quest to the side. It lets you use all your frames, move them where you want to. Anything in a game, you can move it around. That's very, very helpful as well. I'm thinking that's basically it, except for like cursor I'm using for my cursor. That way it has that little spinny, you can see where my mouse is at all times when it's moving. That's basically about it. I'm using NugComboBar or whatever it is there in the center, which tells me how much holy power I have. You can use it for warlocks for your soul shards and stuff like that, so it's a very universal tool. I really enjoyed that one a whole lot. But anyways guys, I'm hoping that you enjoyed this. There wasn't really anything I could talk about that like would go along with the actual tanking, being I had to speed this up so much. I was going to just break it up in bits and pieces, but that was going to be I think less enjoyable. At least now you see how that we went completely through this instance. Unfortunately, here's a little spoiler alert for you. We don't down the final boss. We get right to the guy, and I don't know what happens. He lets me die. The priest just completely lets me die. I asked him was I had a line of sight, and he said no. That he was taking so much damage himself that he couldn't do anything. So I was like, power word shield, genius. Shield yourself. Come on. But unfortunately he didn't. I even pulled a guy down the stair here, as you can tell, trying to make sure I was in line of sight. I don't know why they wasn't coming up top with me, but we end up downing him right after this with my buddy. We go back in the same exact place. my druid. We end up down and everything goes smooth. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this. If you like this, give me some thumbs up, comment, rate, subscribe. As always, it's Redneck Champ. I'll see you all a little bit later. Also, I want to always say that if you want to, you can always follow me on Twitter. I'm always updating things, posting little cool things that are interesting to me for that day, that are being brought up news-wise. Always been updated on there. Pictures and things about my day that I'm going through, like if I'm doing a vlog and something's interesting I want you to get immediately, I'll throw a picture up there. But anyways, take care of yourselves, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Remember what I said. Rate, comment, subscribe, all of the above. Until next time with more footage from World of Warcraft. See you later.